everyone. So in today's video I'll be reading from this book, The Fault in Our Stars. So let's start from chapter 1. Late in the winter of my 17th year, my mother decided I was depressed, presumably because I rarely left the house, spent quite a lot of time in bed, read the same book over and over, ate infrequently, and devoted quite a bit of my abundant free time to thinking about death. Whenever you read a cancer booklet or website or whatever, they always list depression among the side effects of cancer. But in fact, depression is not a single effect of cancer. Depression is a side effect of dying. But my mom believed I required treatment, so she took me to see my regular Dr. Jim, who agreed that I was veritably swimming in a paralyzing and totally clinical depression, and that therefore my meds should be adjusted, and also I should attend a weekly support group. This support group featured a rotating cast of characters in various states of tumor-driven unwellness. Why did the case rotate? A side effect of dying. The support group, of course, was depressing as hell. It met every Wednesday in the basement of a stone-walled Episcopal church. The support group, of course, was depressing as hell. It met every Wednesday in the basement of a stone-walled Episcopal church shaped like a cross. We all sat in a circle right in the middle of the cross, where the two boards would have met, where the heart of Jesus would have been. I noticed this because Patrick, the support group leader and only person over 18 in the room, talked about the heart of Jesus every freaking meeting, all about how we as young cancer survivors were sitting right in Christ's very sacred heart and whatever. So here's how it went in God's heart. The 6 or 7 or 10 of us walked, wheeled in, grazed at a decrepit selection of cookies and lemonade, sat down in the circle of trust, and listened to Patrick recount for the 1000th time his depressingly miserable life story. How he had cancer in his balls and they thought he was going to die, but he didn't die. And now here he is, a full-grown adult in a church basement, in the 137th nicest city in America, divorced, addicted to video games, mostly friendless, eking out a meager living by exploiting his cancer-tastic past, slowly working his way towards a master's degree that will not improve his career prospects, waiting, as we all do, for the sort of to give him the relief that he escaped these many years ago when career took both of his nuts, but spared what only the most generous soul would call his life. And you too might be so lucky. Then we introduced ourselves, name, age, diagnosis, and how we are doing today. I'm Hazel, I would say, when they would get to me. 16, thyroid originally, but with an impressive and long settled satellite colony in my lungs. And I'm doing okay. Once we got around the circle, Patrick always asked if anyone wanted to share, and then began the circle jerk of support, everyone talking about fighting and battling and whining and winning and shrinking and scanning. To be fair to Patrick, he let us talk about dying too, but most of them weren't dying. Most would live into adulthood as Patrick had. The only redeeming facet of support group was this kid named Isaac, a long-faced, skinny guy with straight blonde hair swept over one eye, and his eyes were the problem. He had some fantastically improvable eye cancer. One eye had been cut out when he was a kid, unnaturally huge like this wood. Whole head was basically just his fake eye and this real eye staring at you. From what I could gather on the rare occasions when Isaac shared with the group, recurrence had placed his remaining eye in the mortal peril. Isaac and I communicated almost exclusively through sight. Each time someone discussed antique ancestors or snorting ground-up shark, fin or whatever, he'd glanced over me and sigh over so slightly. I would shake my head microscopically and exhaled in response. So the boat group blew, and after a few weeks I grew to be rather kicking and screaming about the whole affair. In fact, on the Wednesdays I made the acquaintance of Augustus Waters. I tried my level best to get out of support group while sitting on the couch with my mom in the third leg of a 12-hour marathon of the previous season's American's Next Top Model, which admittedly I had already seen, but still. Me, I refused to attend support group. Mom, one of the symptoms of depression is disinterest in activities. Me, please just let me watch America's Next Top Model. It's an activity. Mom, television is a passivity. Me, oh mom, please. Mom, Hazel, you're a teenager. You're not a little kid anymore. You need to make friends, get out of the house and live your life. Me, if you want me to be a teenager, don't send me to the support group. Buy me a fake ID so I can go to clubs, drink vodka and take pot. Mom, you didn't take pot for starters. Me, see, that's the kind of thing I'd know if you got me a fake ID. Mom, you're going to support group. Me, Mom, Hazel, you deserve a life. That shut me up, although I failed to see how attendance at support group met the definition of life. Still, I agreed to go after negotiating the right to record the 1.5 episodes of A&TM I'd be missing. I went to support group for the same reason that I had once allowed nurses with a mere 18 months of graduate education to poison me with exotically named chemicals. I wanted to make my parents happy. There is only one thing in this world shittier than biting it from cancer when you are 16, and that's having a kid who bites it from cancer. Mom pulled into the circular driveway behind the church at 4:56. I pretended to fiddle with my oxygen tank for a second just to kill time. Do you want me to carry it in for you? No, it's fine, I said. The cylindrical green tank only weighed a few pounds. I had this little steel cart to wheel it around behind me. It delivered 2 liters of oxygen to me each minute through a cannula, a transparent tube that splits just beneath my neck, wrapped behind my ears, and then reunited in my nostrils. The contraption was necessary because my lungs sucked at being lungs. I love you, she said as I got out. You too, Mom. See you at 6. Make friends, she said through the roll-down window as I walked away. I didn't want to take the elevator because taking the elevator is a last days kind of activity at support group. So I took the stairs. I grabbed a cookie and poured some lemonade into a Dixie cup and then turned around. A boy was staring at me. I was quite sure I had never seen him before. Long and leanly muscular, he dwarfed the molded plastic elementary school chair he was sitting in. Mahogany hair, straight and short, he looked my age, maybe a year older, and he sat with his tailbone against the edge of the chair, his posture aggressively poor, one hand half in a pocket of dark jeans. I looked away, suddenly conscious of my myriad insufficiencies. I was wearing old jeans, which had once been tight but now sagged in weird places, and a yellow t-shirt advertising a band I didn't even like anymore. Also my hair. I had this page boy haircut and I hadn't even bothered to brush it. Furthermore, I had ridiculed person with a balloon for a head. This was not even to mention the Kenkel situation, and yet I got a glance to him, and his eyes were still on me. It occurred to me why they call it eye contact. I walked into the circle and sat down next to Isaac, 2 seats away from the boy. I glanced again, he was still watching me. Look, let me just say it, he was hot. A non-hot boy stares at you relentlessly, and it is at best awkward and at worst a form of assault. But a hot boy, well, I pulled out my phone and clicked it so it would display the time. 4:59, the circle filled in with the unlucky 12 to 18s. And then Patrick started us out with the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. The guy was still staring at me. I felt rather blushy. Finally, I decided that the proper strategy was to stare back. Boys do not have a monopoly on the staring business, after all. So I looked him over as Patrick acknowledged for the 1,000th time his etc. And soon it was a staring contest. After a while, the boy smiled, and then finally his blue eyes glanced away. When he looked back at me, I flicked my eyebrows up to say I win. He shrugged. Patrick continues, and then finally it was time for the introductions. Isaac, perhaps you would like to go first today. I know you are facing a challenging time. Yeah, Isaac said. I am Isaac. I'm 17 and it's looking like I have to get surgery in a couple weeks, after which I'll be blind. Not to complain or anything, because I know a lot of us have it worse. But yeah, I mean, being blind does sort of suck. My girlfriend helps though, and friends like Augustus say nodded towards the boy, who now had a name. So yeah, Isaac continued. He was looking at his hands, which he had folded into each other like the top of a tab. There's nothing you can do about it. We're here for you, Isaac, Patrick said. Let Isaac hear it, guys, and then we all, in a monotone, said, we are here for you, Isaac. Michael was next. He was 12. He had leukemia. He had always had leukemia. He was okay. Or he said he had taken the elevator. Lita was 16 and pretty enough to be the object of the hot boy's eye. She was a regular in a long remission form from appendiceal cancer, which I had not previously known existed. She said, as she had every other time I had attended support group, that she felt strong, which felt like bragging to me as the oxygen drizzling nubs tickled my nostrils. There were 5 other before they got to him. He smiled a little when his turn came. His voice was low, smoky, and dead sexy. My name is Augustus Waters. He said, I am 17. I had a little touch of osteosarcoma a year and a half ago, but I'm just here today at Isaac's request. And how are you feeling? Asked Patrick. Oh, I'm grand. Augustus Waters smiled with the corner of his mouth. I'm on a roller coaster that only goes up, my friend. When it was my turn, I said, my name is Hazel. I'm 16, thyroid with meds in my lungs. I'm okay. The heart proceeded back. Fights were recounted. Battles won amid was sure to be lost. Hope was. My fears, yes. I fear oblivion, he said without a moment a pause. So it's enough for today, and we shall continue the remaining chapter in the next video. And if you are interested, so kindly let me know in a comment section, and please do like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.